What's up everyone? One of the most important parts about Monster Hunter Wilds is crafting and upgrading all of this new gear, all of these new weapons and armors. And the further you go, the more and more materials you need from higher and higher level monsters. So today I just wanted to do a full guide on how to get the most amount of materials per monster. Whether you're looking to farm a specific item or you just want to get the maximum amount of rewards per monster you defeat, then we'll go over all of that today. I'm going to talk the differences between severable and breakable and the different items you get from each one. And we're going to talk capturing, whether or not you should capture a monster, the rewards you get for capturing one, and I'll show you how to capture it. And then just generally talking about the different materials and how to get more. There's certain little side quests as well that give additional rewards from defeating monsters that are permanent increases. So let's go over everything. First things first, let's talk the monster field guide. Okay, so let's start with the monster field guide, because when you're looking at, what can I break? What can I sever? What different materials can I get? It is all covered in there. So let's start there. I'm going to start by going a little bit smaller here, and we'll go into here and we go into the third option here, monster field guide. Now, as I open this, it is going to show all of the monsters I fought. So beware if you're worried about spoilers of what monsters in the game, they are going to be on here. So I'm going to pop this open. Now, these are all the monsters. As you start playing the game and finding more monsters, you'll start seeing them in here. Once you've beat them once, you will have all the information you need on them. So I'm just going to grab my controller. So if we go to, let's start with one that most people will have seen. So say the Doshiguma, most people have seen this early on. So when we look at this monster here, you can see the first page here just shows you the monster. As we go to the second page, we can now see a detailed guide, like an infographic of what part of the monster does what. So this is the different things we can do to this monster and the effects it has. So the belly is a weak point, which means we deal more damage if we hit the belly. But here's the important parts. The tail hair and the foreleg are breakable. Meaning if we deal enough damage to let's use the forelegs, there's two forelegs, and dealing enough damage will give us a breakable moment where you break a piece of those forelegs and get an item. So if it's like a scaled monster, you could deal enough damage to like a heavily scaled area and get, the monster scale as an item. If it's a furry animal, maybe you could deal enough damage to, say, the leg and get the monster fur, which can be used in certain crafts. Same with the tail, you might get like tail hair or something from breaking the tail. Now, that doesn't mean you're severing any part of the monster. You're just like breaking a piece off. So then if we look at something like the Balahara next to it, this has a breakable head, but then it has a severable tail, which means if we deal enough damage to the tail, it will fully break off. And then you can then go carve that either at the end of the fight or as it moves zones, you can stop and carve that piece. So yeah, and if you're brand new and watching this before you even start playing, this is, you have a focus mode and you will focus, and that's how you can like target specific parts if you want to. And if there's like a wound there, you can deal extra damage to that part as well. So you want to be focusing the different parts if you're looking for specific items. So we'll stick with this one now for an example. So it has a breakable part and a severable part. If we go to the next tab, this is like what it's weak to. This tab here is what we're going to be looking at. This will show how to get every single part. And once you defeat the monster, this will start filling up. And you can see here, depending on what you're trying to farm, they will appear in this list. So if you're going for a scale, you can see here, 20% will come as a target reward, which means when you defeat the monster, you will be rewarded at the end with a bunch of rewards. It has a 48% chance of coming from destroying a wound, which will happen a lot during the fight. And then there's a 33% chance you get it from carving the monster. So if you're looking for that, you've got a pretty good chance of getting it. However, if you're looking for, say, this thing here, the Balahara skull, if you're looking for the skull, it has only a 15% chance as a target reward and an 18% chance from carving. So you could fight like 4 or 5 of these and not get one. However, it's got an 80% chance if you break the head, and you can see it circled there to show that that's where you get it from. So yeah, that's really important. And then where this becomes really interesting is when we look at the rare items. See, the frequency here goes down. So the ones at the bottom are super rare. This one here, like the black pearl, if you need the black pearl, your best chance to get the black pearl is making sure you always break the head and you always carve the monster. So yeah, if you're looking to get it, they're the two things you want to be doing because they have the highest percentages. If we look at, say, the Balahara certificate, now that only comes as a target reward. So if you're looking to farm these, that means you only get it from the reward you get at the end. But a way to get extra rewards is by capturing the monster. So if you're just looking to farm this, there is no reward from carving it, no reward from breaking anything. You just get it as the target reward, and you get additional target rewards, I believe, from what I've played, from capturing the monsters. So let's talk about that next. So we'll keep using these same monsters as an example. Why should we capture? What are the reasons to capture? Well, we've already spoke about you will get additional target rewards. So at the end, when you capture, you get a massive chunk of target rewards, and I believe it's more than when you defeat the monster and carve it. So that's one reason. The second reason is you get everything leading up to the capture that you would have already got. So say you carved off, say you broke off the tail and you got a bunch of tail hair, you got a bunch of fur, you got a bunch of claws, you destroyed a bunch of wounds and got hides. You still keep all of that. The only thing you miss out on is the final carve. So the 3 or 4 items you would get from carving. So you would probably not want to try and capture it if you were looking for something that just came from carving. So say this fang, say this had a 2% chance from target reward and a 50% chance from carving, and you wanted it, you should defeat the monster and carve the monster, right? If not, you would try and capture it, because then you would have a bigger chance at the pool of rewards and the target rewards. So that's why you should capture. And I would generally say, to get the maximum amount of rewards, try and get loads of wounds, try and get loads of breakable parts, try and sever everything you can, and then capture at the end. That would be my suggestion, and that's where I've seen the maximum amount of rewards coming from. Okay, so let's talk how to capture monsters. Now, if you're already at end game, you probably already know this, so that's fine, because you have to capture a few in high rank for quests. If you've never done it, if you're still early in the game, let's talk how to do it, because it doesn't hurt to capture them early on before it asks you to. So first things first, you need a trap and you need a tranquilizer. So you trap them and then you tranquilize them. So you can craft those. So if we go to the provisioner stockpiler, and we go, I'd like to manage my supplies, purchase, and then you go down to the trap tools, you can purchase the trap tools here, which is how you craft the traps. So you want to grab some of those if you don't already have any. And then if you go into your tent and you go to your items, your transfer items, I'm going to hide my screen so you can see everything. So you go transfer items here, and then you go into your pouch, and you scroll through. You basically need some traps. So we've got the pitfall trap here, which is for very large monsters. And then we have the shock trap, which works on pretty much everything. So you want to put some shock traps in your inventory like this. And then you want to go and put some tranquilizers, which are these pink things down here, these pink trees. These are your tranquilizers. So you need a couple of those. So you want to put a couple of those in as well. And that is what you will have as your setup to go and capture. Now, assuming you don't have any of these and you don't have any in your inventory, you can craft them. So if you go down to your crafting list here, you can just go, I think it's the 3rd page, 4th, 5th, 6th page. Okay. So if we go here, we have the pitfall trap here, which is a trap tool and a net. And then we have the shock, which is a trap tool, and a thunderbug, which you'll just find those out in the world. So you can just craft them like this. We just made one. And here's the tranks right underneath them. You can just craft them like that. Sleep herbs and parashrooms, which again, you'll find everywhere just from playing. So yeah, that's how we make everything that we need. All we want to be doing then is, in a fight, you want to fight the monster like normal, completely like normal, deal as much damage as possible, break off all the parts we can, sever what we can, just really grind the monster down. And then the monster in your minimap will have a skull icon when he's really close to being defeated. When he's really low HP, there will be a little skull above his head in the minimap. It'll also, audibly tell you in game, and you'll see it as well. The monster will start limping away. You can see he's struggling, and the game will tell you he's not got much left. He's very weak. You'll know when he's about to go down, but when he is, that means he's capturable. So normally you'll chase him to his final place where he's going to go to, and that's where you'll capture him. You go into your wheel. You press bumper to open the wheel, or you get it on PC. You go along to the shock trap. You place it. You lure him into it. They go in. They get trapped. And then you just throw a couple of tranks and they're captured, and that ends the fight. So there's no carving, and then you just get a big chunk of rewards. So yeah, that's how you capture them. Yes, that's pretty much everything there is to know about fighting the monsters. Hopefully that helps. And as you can see, you get a massive chunk of rewards from capturing, so definitely worth doing. And then the only other thing is there is an additional way to get a chunk of rewards from every fight. So this isn't really a spoiler, but once you finish the story, once you finish the story and you go into high rank, once you get through like the main narrative part of the story and it opens up a bit more and opens up all the side quests and you're in high rank, you can take side quests from your companion, from the cat. You can go and talk to him in any camp, talk to them in a camp, and they will give you side quests. And these normally unlock new abilities for your companion, your palico. So if we go into it, once you do these, there are 3 or 4, and one of them as you go down, rewards you with this ability here. I won't ruin how the quests work, but this is the ability you want, and it's called Plunderang. So just keep doing the side quests for the Palico over and over again. And I think it's like 3 or 4 in, you will get the Plunderang. And throughout the fight, randomly, he will just throw in this Plunderang and give you a material. So this is another way to get additional materials from monsters completely passively. You do nothing. You don't have to like tell them to do it. They will just randomly throw this in and say, "Oh, I got you more materials," which is a nice touch. So yeah, that's another thing to make sure you go and unlock. But yeah, there's obviously like skills and equipment, things like that can lead to things. But this is generally everything that, you know, if you're new to the series, if you're a new player, hopefully this has helped you get a better understanding of how to farm your materials and where each material is coming from. But that's it for the video. Hope this has helped. If you like this style of video, do consider subscribing. If you want to see more Monster Hunter content, do let me know down below. That's it from me. Thank you very much, and I'll catch you in the next one.